Mm-hmm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on what time zone you're in, or what time you're watching this video. Today we're back with possibly one of the most unexpected drops of the year. SirDiscoDoc and Jointdale Records. Two phenomenal people, and I am excited to see what they've created because I can only imagine. Ow, just bit my tongue. I can only imagine it is golden. So, without further ado, love you all. Let's jump right in, shall we?
Robots and Chatbots. Class of 2097. Less screen time. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, less screen time would be it. The long-term benefits of less screen time have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience.
Fair, but that's good
I will
information
dispense
too.
this advice now.
Okay, before we get started, I love that he said chatbots because it's basically like this is the future and it's like AI that he's talking to, so it's 2097. That's so clever. I love it. It's like equating people to robots. So cool. But I'm pretty sure like a long time ago there was a video released that was like to do with sunscreen is my assumption now. I'm vaguely recalling, but I saw sunscreen on the image as well, and that's kind of what the video was about. And this almost feels like it's that video but now transformed to be for the future, and I love that. That's so clever.
Dispense this advice now.
Ooh.
Enjoy the power and beauty of your model. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your model until it's been upgraded. But trust me, in 20 years you'll look back at JPEGs of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how shiny you really looked. You are not as fragged as you imagine.
Yo, hang on a second. Life lessons is, oh my god, Doc, you're just always teaching us, man. Okay, so I love that because when you think about it, like, a lot of people spend their time thinking about like, oh, the future is going to be this, the future is going to be that, I'm heading in this direction, I'm going to make sure this is better. But when you spend so much time living in the future, you don't actually appreciate your present as much. And that's kind of what Doc's saying here, is that like overall, like you might be thinking about like, oh, I want to be better in this way, this way, this way, but you're actually limiting the possibilities of now by thinking like that, right? Like it's important to know how to change, maybe like how to improve now by slowly changing ways like your habits, but to be only thinking about how to change the very far future, like down the road, is limiting how much you enjoy the now. So live in the now. God damn. All right. Is this going to be like one of those long ones where I keep pausing because it's just so good? Kind of excited though. Also the drums.
Don't worry about the future. Or worry. But know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve Moore's Law by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your busy RAM. The kind that blindside you at 4 a.m. on some idle downtime. Do one thing every day that reboots you. Sleep.
Yeah.
Don't be...
I love that he uses all these words to like be synonymous with ways of thinking of people, right? Because it's like reboots you, like almost makes you feel alive again, but also like reboots you like you go to sleep and you wake up, so it's like sleep, but that's also what you do to computers. But something that was mentioned here is like, yeah, you can worry about the future. That's totally something you can do, but really how much help is that? This is something I'm struggling with right now a lot because I'm going through some things medically that are like a little bit scary for me. And in that sense, I spent a lot of time for a long time, and even still now, it's a struggle not to think about them. But thinking about them doesn't actually change anything, right? If you're worried all the time about the future, then again, that's exactly what we just said. You're wasting the now, right? And that's kind of what we're being told here. And then I really love the message here of like, do something that makes you feel alive every day. If you're struggling with finding like either meaning or finding like, you know, like positivity, do something that makes you feel alive every day. Figure out what it is. Make a list of things to try. And then once you find something that really speaks to you, go out and do that every single day of your life. Honestly, that's kind of what this channel became. At the start, I didn't know whether like how it would be, and then after I started, I was like, this is it. This feels like this is what I want to do. This just feels like I'm alive. You know what I mean? Like every time we have conversations on here, I feel more alive. I feel more connected to people, and that's exactly what I find meaning in. And if that's not something you find meaning in, that's fine. You don't have to do that. But you have to figure out what brings meaning into your life and go for it. You know what I mean? God damn it, Doc. We're not. This is gonna be a long video, I think.
Please. Don't be reckless with other people's microchips. Don't put up with
Oh, like
people who are
hearts?
reckless with yours.
Yo, yeah. Feelings
White.
and hearts, 100%.
Don't waste your time on Apple events. Sometimes you're ahead. Sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with your own model.
That speaks volumes. Cause yeah, yo, honestly, when you're kind of always comparing yourself to other people, you don't know what situation those other people have. You don't know what resources they have. You don't know what negatives are in their life, what positives are in their life. And just in general, like we don't know each other that well, right? Necessarily. But if you're always comparing yourself to like people you see on your screen, like and those people who only show you the good times, you'll never know that the bad times exist for them too. And by doing that, you always feel belittled. You always feel smaller. So don't focus on that. Focus on figuring out how to be better than yourself than you were yesterday. Make yourself better every day in one way, shape, or form, if you can. And even if it's not every day, just strive to do better in some way, shape, or form. And that's the goal. You're not beating anyone else. Life isn't about competing with others. It's about making life better for yourself and for the people around you. And that involves thinking of yourself as your competition. Doc, come on.
Remember the great reviews you receive. Forget
Like
the bad
compliments?
ones.
True.
If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep
True.
your old love emails. Delete your old bank PDFs. Flex. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your lifespan. The most interesting people I know didn't know at version 2.2 what they wanted to do with their
Like
lifespan.
age?
Some of the most interesting version 4.0 year olds I
Oh,
know
yeah, like
still
age.
don't. Get
Yo, that's the truth, man. You'll look at people and you'll be like, oh, that person has it together. You know what I mean? And then when you're if you're ever able to like talk to that person and like get into their life, maybe figure out what's going on with them, you start to realize really nobody has everything together. Nobody, not a single person on this planet, I can almost assure you, has everything together. Everyone has problems. Everyone has issues. And that's just life, right? So don't spend so much time worrying about what you need to be in the future. Spend time enjoying the now too. Like and that doesn't mean like throw the future away. But if you put all your eggs into that basket, then what about your basket now? It's empty, right? So spend some time thinking about the now and living the now and enjoying the things that you have, like good family, good friends, good whatever you have in your life. Like for me, my family, my friends, you guys, god damn, that makes my life so much better. And I could not be this person that I am now without them, right? But if I always spend my time worrying about what I'm going to be in the future, where I'm going to be there, and I'm not even considering how awesome my life is now, then I might forget that I have a pretty good life. God damn it, Doc. Therapizing us through a song again. This is like basically what Ren does.
version 4.0 year olds I know still don't. Get plenty of oil. Be kind to your keys. You'll miss them when they're gone.
Dear, what?
Maybe you'll
I missed
marry.
that last part.
Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have next gen. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 4.0. Maybe you'll dance the funky split screen on your 7.5th
screen.
wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't
7.5.
congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are every bot else's.
Bot else's, yo, that's like epically true. Cause like sometimes it is just fate, or not fate, but like chance. You know what I mean? And chance plays the biggest role in the decision, or like things that happen to you, and you can't control that. So yeah, enjoy the things that you do well, and don't be so hard on yourself for the things that don't go well, because sometimes it wasn't even your fault to begin with. And take that in, because really a lot of the time when something happens, when something goes wrong, we find ourselves to blame. And that's just not healthy. It's not the way to go, because you're not the only factor. And that's hard to remember, because we have the most access to ourselves, and so we can break ourselves down the easiest. But we're not the only factor, and that sometimes that'll work against you, and you need to remember that. Let's go. Oh my god. And the production is so smooth, so silky smooth. I could listen to this just like on repeat, and it's like almost like, you know, those meditations that you see videos of, like, oh, meditation videos, or like space ambiance videos, and they just make you feel the atmosphere. That's what I'm getting from this, and it's so solid.
Enjoy your case. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it, or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own.
Like your body?
Dust. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room, read the computer code. Even if you don't follow it, do not view beauty websites. They will only make you feel ugly.
Yo, we talked about that. Woo!
Get to know your parent folders. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your accessories. They are the best link to your past, and the ones most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that bot friends come and go, but for the precious few you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in data room and cloud provider, because the older you get, the more you need the bots you knew when you were young. Live in New...
Man, okay, yeah. This is what I was saying, right? Like, it's the people in your life that matter the most, right? And it's like, sometimes you don't realize that until it's too late. And quite honestly, like, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background of myself, but I lost my grandma like 3 years ago now. And that was hard, because I thought to myself, like, I wish I had spent more time with her. And even though I feel like I did have a lot of time with her, that still wasn't enough. And that's the thing, is like, you don't realize how much of a role someone plays in your life sometimes until they're gone. And that awakener helps you understand that those relationships in your life are what matter most. And quite honestly, I think that was one of the big reasons I started this channel too, was it really helped me realize that when it comes down to it, stuff like just the stuff that doesn't matter is nothing compared to the stuff that does. And the stuff that does matter is stuff like love, relationships, connections, the people that you have in your life that make you feel good, and the people that you have in your life that you make feel good. That's what really matters. And we should be trying to spend our time with those people, because it helps bring us up. Man, I wasn't expecting to start. Oh, Jesus, man. Okay. And honestly, shout out to my parents, shout out to my family, shout out to all of you guys, shout out to all my friends, shout out to anyone that has been a part of my life, because you guys helped make me who I am. And I will never forget that. And that will always be central to who I am. And I love each and every one of you. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to try to curb that a little bit.
Live in New York City once, but leave before it gives you a hard drive. Live in Silicon Valley once, but leave before it gives you a floppy disk. Surf. Accept certain inalienable truth. Storage will rise. PC admins will philander. You too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, storage was reasonable. Yeah. Admins were noble, and children respected their screen time. Respect.
I love that we're like talking about storage and housing and stuff, but like it's almost like we're paralleling god damn, the writing on this is so good, because it's like you've paralleled everything, Doc. You've thought about all the ways to connect like bots to humanity, and it's so interesting, because this might be the way that someone understands it better. You know what I mean? Because like they might not understand it when you talk about it in the scope of humanity. But talking about it in the scope of something that's more relatable for some people, like technology, might be the way to connect. And this is just it, right? This is what we're saying, that like the world is changing, and you'll always think of the past as like, if you spend your entire time thinking of the past as being the best times, which it might end up being, right? Because sometimes you have the best moments of your life to look back on, right? And that's not a bad thing. That means you enjoyed your time on this planet. That means you enjoyed your life. And that's a good thing. So never think of it as a bad thing if you look back and you smile and you think, oh man, that was such a great time. I wish that was now. But remember that you had that opportunity and you had that chance and you had that moment. And that in and of itself is powerful because you got to live that moment. Doc, please. Oh my God. Respect too. I love that because that's central, man. We got to respect the people around us, respect the people that are in our lives because those are the people that we hold close, whether we even think about it or not. We have choices. We can choose to leave if we want, but there's a reason that you have these people in your life. So respect those people, treat them with respect, and they should be respecting you in return. And we're wheeling back, kind of almost going full circle, saying, yeah, if you might look back to the past. And I love that Doc is almost going with like a reverse flow where we started off thinking about, don't think about the future. Now we're saying, don't think too much about the past. And the central message is live in the present.
Respect your screen time. Don't expect anyone else to tech support you. Maybe you have Apple Care. Maybe you have a savvy user. But you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your Mac Air, or by the time you're 4.0, it will look 8.5. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing past gadgets from the disposal.
Dude, advice is a form of nostalgia. What a bar. Holy smokes. Also, I'm just now clicking, like I can hear it all, but I almost feel like I need to go back to listen to the production even more because it is so clean. We've got more instrumentation. It's got more of like a flowy vibe to it now. And it's like we're starting to gain understanding. And so we keep unlocking different parts of the production. Just so clean. But I love that line. Advice is nostalgia, and that's the truth. Because advice is when someone looks back on their life and tries to help you in yours. But that involves taking a look back. And that's what we're giving to someone else is our nostalgic events. That's so crazy. We are actually giving our experience. And that's what wisdom is, right? And that's what he said at the start. Some of this is truth, but some of it's just my meandering. But just because it's meandering doesn't mean he has nothing that he's learned, right? And meandering is meandering is not the technical word for it, but your experiences are something to learn from. You learn from them, so why can't others? And that's kind of what we're getting here. They're like, and one of the other things I do want to talk about is he mentions that like sometimes you have to learn how to be strong on your own. And I think that's also very important. I know I talk a lot about like unity and connectedness, and that is very important. But I think that in order to stand up, you also do have to be able to stand up on your own and then create a support system. And that's kind of what we're getting here, that like sometimes you won't have that support system necessarily. Like maybe you have to move somewhere new, brand new, where no one lives, right? Or something along those lines. And then you have to be able to kind of stick it out. And that's kind of what we're getting here, that you should work on being strong enough to be on your own, but that shouldn't be the way that you have to live. And I really love that message so much. Oh my God.
Wiping them off, painting over the ugly parts and recycling them for more than they're worth. But trust me on the screen time.
Ooh, they're like, ooh, oh my God. That whole thing was just phenomenal. I really like the messaging on screen time too, because it's like screen time is basically paralleled with who you're deciding to give face to, right? Who you're deciding to spend time with. That's very important. Be careful with your screen time because we only have so much screen time. That applies to everybody. And we don't know when our screen time is going to run out. So make sure you use it wisely. We also don't know when other people's screen time is going to run out. So make sure you spend as much time with the people that you care about as you can, because that's super important. Life isn't about money. It's not about clout. It's not about fame. It's not about any of that shit. Pardon my language. But it's about making meaning out of the time that you have. And a lot of that meaning comes from the connections that you make in this lifetime, because those will outlive us. So make sure you choose wisely how you use your time. Doc and Jointdale just coming through with just what a banger, man. Like, it's so reflective. I'm just left with so many thoughts that are just floating around in my mind. And I feel like with the music, with the beat, I can do that for a long time. I could just put this on in the background and just like fall into it. You know what I mean? Just listen for hours. and the messaging is just so strong and so powerful. Oh man, god damn. Well, that was a journey. I was not expecting a lot of what happened there. Phenomenal. Well done, Doc and Jointdale. Just crazy. Fantastic. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want, or don't. Use your screen time how you want to use your screen time. Remember that I hope that your week is better than your day, your month is better than your week, your year is better than your month. Love you all to the moon and back. See you on the next one.